America and the news media should be spending all of that energy talking about a major number of heroes in this entire story, especially the Coast Guard rescue swimmer and petty officer who has now been credited with saving, get this, 165 lives. Everyone agrees this has got to be a record. His name is Scott Ruskin. He's from New Jersey, so from this general area. I'm going to take a little bit of credit, and I'm just kidding, but I'm rooting for him. This is an issue in the news media, David. It's not just that there's political bias. There's also bias in favor of doom and gloom and a belief in every newsroom in America, and I've worked in a lot of them, that the only way the American people will watch your product is if you have something frightening, horrible, and horrific to show them. That's not true. Teach people in your newsrooms, teach people in your journalism schools how to do stories about heroes, because I don't think they know how to do this. And while I saw on social media a lot of stuff about Scott Ruskin, I didn't see any specific long portrayal of him on the establishment media. So again, I mean, we have to talk about heroes when they do come around. And in these incidents, I'm not talking about wars here. In these incidents, there always are a lot of heroes, aren't there?
Well, yeah, and of course the media doesn't want to report that, because a positive story out of this, they can't spin and use that outrage to somehow hurt Trump, and that's how sick they've become. You're exactly right, though, and it's an excellent point about the news coverage being negative. I don't even let my kids watch the news. I haven't in a very long time, because every other story is about terrible things. And when you can go to other countries, you go to Europe, you go to South America, Central America, you turn on their news, there's people dancing, there's stories of markets and festivals. And that was one of the things that struck me most the first time I traveled overseas when I was younger, when I turned on the news and I'm like, wow, there's nothing bad happening. And then you turn on CNN International or whatever you were watching, and it just like made the United States look like it was crumbling. I don't know what the obsession is with the bad, and the good that's coming out of this tragedy, of course, is always inspiring. In every tragedy, there's always these good, inspiring stories. But yes, you're right. The media wants to ignore it. They want to paint this dark picture. And then somehow they find a way to politicize it and make it seem like Donald Trump or whatever Republican is in charge. They did this with George Bush after Katrina. Remember, somehow George Bush was responsible for one of the worst hurricanes to ever hit New Orleans, rather than the inspiring stories of all the people that rescued those folks that became victims to really a failure in engineering and bad community planning policies. And this is constantly the theme. And we do need to be more responsible and do a better job with reporting on the good, because people need good things in their lives. They need to hear the positive, because this country is a great country, and a lot of great stories like this one do come out every day.